Hello, I'm Helen Bradley and welcome to Learn to Draw Today and the YouTube channel Learn to Draw Today. In this next video, I'm going to show you how to draw a fantasy map just like this. So we're going to get started and draw a fantasy map. So I'm going to make mine like about a square, but you can make yours any shape that you want. So we're just going to draw the basic outline of a square, but we're going to leave little gaps as we do, and we're going to see why in just a minute. Again, you may want to just rotate the paper as you work to be able to sort of eyeball where your map is going to be. So the gaps that we've left in the map are going to be like creases in the map. So you're just going to draw little creases in at this point. It's really quite simple. It kind of adds to the fantasy element of the map. A suggestion that it might have been sort of folded or bent or torn at the edges a little bit. So having done that, we're going to draw a waterline. So the waterline is going to be the sort of beach front for the map. So I'm just going to draw a sort of curvy line down here for my waterline. And I like it to be a little bit thicker. So I'm using a thicker pen. I'm just going to draw over this line to make it thicker. You could make yours thicker by just going over it a few times with your pen, but this is going to be just a little bit quicker for me today. And then I'm going to draw another line all the way down exactly where this line was. So I'm just going to follow it along. This just gives it a little bit of depth. Again, you'll get yours a little bit better than mine because I'm just trying to work reasonably fast here. And I'm going to add dots. So I'm just going to dot my pen here. If my pen's going to behave, it's not going to behave properly today. It really does not want to dot for me today. I'm just going to add dots all the way down here. This is really probably not the pen to use. I'm thinking that a Sakura Micron marker was probably a better choice of pen here. What I want is just a few dots along the waterline. Then we're going to add some mountains. So we're going to add some mountains in over here. So I'm going to add 3 mountains. I'm just going to draw them like this. That's one mountain. And then there's one slightly behind it because mountains usually are in a group. So we're just going to draw our 3 mountains. We're going to add a little bit of shading to the edge of the mountains. It's just dashed lines, that's all. So just add the dashed lines here to give your mountains a little bit of dimension. We're going to do the same with trees. So we're going to have a forest of trees here. And they're just sort of, well, they're almost ovals, but not quite because they're a little bit more pointy at the top. But you just want some basic tree shapes here. And we're going to have a forest of 4 trees here on our fantasy map. And the trees are going to have the same shading as the mountains, so that's going to give them a sort of consistent look, even though it's really obvious which ones are trees and which ones are mountains. Okay, so we're going to add in some waves to our water, and the waves are just going to look like waves that you drew as a kid, just little waves like this. You want them to be in sort of pairs or threes, and just a few of them in the water area. It just reinforces that this is water that we're looking at here. We're going to add a little community here, a little community with a church. So I'm just going to add a sort of base for these buildings, just a small base. I'm going to start with some lines. So this is going to be one building, and the next building is going to be a bit taller, and it's sort of going to be the tallest building of the lot. And then I'm going to add a slightly smaller building and then a very small one at the end. And I'm just going to join these up. So this one's going to have a roof on it like this. This one's going to have a taller roof, and then this one will be the church. So I'm going to add a spire to it, and then just add in the roof line. Now the church is going to have a couple of windows, well, a window and a door. So I'm just going to draw boxes for those. And then here, we're just going to do windows up the top here. So I'm just going to draw 4 boxes, very small boxes all together here, and I'm going to repeat that here. Just really almost just dots here for the windows. And we're going to do a castle. A castle is a nice and fun thing to do. So basically, it's just almost a square, and then you're going to draw the battlements on the top, and then a door. It's a sort of castle-shaped door. You could even give it some planks of wood there. And if you wanted to, you could draw in some windows. And if you want this to look consistent all the way across, you use the same 4 windows that you used for the houses in the castle. Now, there are paths that people will walk on, and these are going to be just dashed lines. We want to put these in, and these people all tend to walk along these paths to the ocean. And then there's a path all the way up here to the castle as well. And then you can finish off with grass. And grass is just really 3 lines like this with a base. It's sort of like marshy grass. And so we're going to indicate that there's a marsh here. You can add other bits and pieces to your map, but there are some of the foundation elements of a map: a castle, a little village, some trees, some mountains, water, and your coastline. And then we want to finish off, of course, with our orientation. So we're going to add our north-south. So let's put it over here. We're just going to indicate with an arrow that this is north. So there's our fantasy map. I'm Helen Bradley. Thank you for joining me for this drawing video tutorial. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and write a comment telling me that you liked it. Now, if you subscribe to this channel, you'll be told when new drawing videos are launched. And in the meantime, for more step-by-step drawing tutorials, visit my website at learntodraw.today.